We're here. We're live. We're here to talk about a Yankees series victory once again. So hang out and we'll have some fun.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. With me, as always, is my co-host, Brian McKeon. Brian, another series win.
Yeah, especially after the way that game one in this series ended, really needed to get this win. It was important for them. You went into the day with the dampering news of Clarke Schmidt, but like we said earlier, and we've been saying for days and, feels like weeks, these things weirdly have a way of figuring themselves out. So we conversed a bunch and debated a bunch over a potential six-man rotation. Who do you send down? Who do you put in the bullpen? Guess what? None of that matters. It figured itself out.
Yep. Before we get into everything, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like the video, hit the bell so you're notified when our videos go up. Today, it's Fanmail Friday. We will be answering questions that we got previously this week, before the show, but we'll also be answering your questions. So leave them in the chat, or at least try to wait till segment 3 so we see them in the chat because, we might lose them along the way. But ask us whatever you want. You have free reign. It
Carte
should be
blanche.
Yeah, carte blanche. Ugh. All right, don't ask anything, but you know what I mean. So we'll be answering your questions for Fanmail Friday, and we will be talking about the Schmidt injury. In case you've been living under a rock all day and didn't know, Clarke Schmidt is injured and he's going to be out for a while. But first, let's talk about the game because it was annoying up to a point, and then the Yankees offense finally decided to do something late in the game.
Rodon pitched terrific again. Another great performance out of a Yankee starter. And this is the problem for the Angels all year, and it's been the problem, and it seems to be the problem for the last decade. They don't pitch. They can't pitch. They don't sign pitchers. They don't develop pitchers. They don't do anything. They don't care about pitching. They tried for years to slug their way with Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani through the bad pitching. Still didn't work out. They don't pitch. Like that's it. That's the only thing you can say about the Angels. And it reared its ugly head again in the game tonight. They were unable to pitch their way out of issues, and it killed them in the end. The Yankees were able to put up 5 runs in a single inning.
Yeah. I was just happy that Rodon was able to have some redemption because of that bad start that he had in Anaheim with the blowing the kisses, and just it's like a complete 180 compared to 2023, how he's doing, thank goodness. And that is good to see.
Tonight. Mm-hmm. He was elite tonight. And really, I mean, other than the 2 dud starts that he's had this year, he's been elite all year. Like, he's been terrific in all of his starts. It's really funny with pitchers how the numbers get skewed, right? Because you look at how a pitcher is pitched all year, and you sit there and you say, 3 ERA, hasn't been that great. He's been average, whatever. And then from the outside looking in, you can think that way, right? But if you really look at it, Rodon's had 2 poor starts where they weren't even that poor. They were 5 runs. They weren't even that poor. And that's it. That's the reason why his ERA is still inflated. If he gives up 3 or 2 runs in those starts, his ERA is in the low 2s. So it's incredible how well he's been this year. I even though Luis Gil has been so crazy, I still think Rodon's been their de facto ace, and I think needs to be their de facto ace all year.
Yeah. Juan Soto. Let's talk about Juan Soto because he was a big part of that 5-run inning. I saw one of my Twitter friends said something actually really fun. I'm going to pull up the tweet, but it was basically like, I can't believe that I underestimated how good Juan Soto was. Like, he's actually, better than I thought he would be by a lot. And she's like, how did I not realize how good he was? But like we said, when you watch him day in and day out, you realize, wow, this is really, like, from afar that he's a special player. But like we said on the show with Javi last week, when you watch a guy every day, it's just so special watching him.
you start to see like even but the little things is what you notice, right? It's the walks in big situations. It's not striking out. It's not chasing. It's the type of at-bats that he puts together that you don't normally see in a guy that you don't watch every single day. And he does it. He comes to play every day. There are no days where it feels like Juan Soto took off that day at all. It feels like every single day that he is out there and ready to play, he's elite. He's elite. He's ready to go. I mean, he is that tremendous. I can't think of a player that's been like this consistently great for them throughout an entire. I mean, he hasn't had a bad stretch yet. The bad stretch he had was like it was like a weekend.
Right.
And Yankee fans are freaking out because it was a bad weekend. That's how unbelievably good he's been. I want to mention this too, because Volpe's hitting streak did end at 23 games tonight. Very unfortunate, but he did show a really great sign of maturity late in the game. He ran on his last at-bat for sure, but the at-bat before that, with the bases loaded when he comes up, a lot of young hitters that would be even veteran hitters that want to continue their hit streak and know. And obviously he's aware of the hit streak. The team was aware of the hit streak because they were all patting on the back after the last at-bat. He took a walk. He didn't that bases loaded at bat. It was still more about the team than it was about Anthony Volpe's hitting streak when he had a 23-game hitting streak on the line. He worked the count. I think he would have took a pitch if he got one to hit, but he didn't get a pitch to hit. Didn't like anything that he saw. Took a walk and moved on. The hitting streak doesn't continue, but he helped the team score a run. And I think that shows a huge amount of maturity in his game and a huge amount of. You don't see that kind of. Like gravitas, right, out of a 22-year-old baseball player, and you saw it out of Volpe.
Yeah, you had two young players who got up with the bases loaded and were able to work walks, and it's nice to see them not try to do too much because it's tempting, right?
When you see young players come up. You see young players come up, and that was before the Soto double, the Soto triple. So the game wasn't broken open yet. It was still a 2-1 game. Like you see a lot of young players try to play hero ball there and try to hit the 9-run home run. And Volpe didn't do that. He went up there calm and collected, took the walk, passed the baton, and it moved on. And then you let Soto break it open, and everyone scored. But that is an insane amount of maturity, not just because of how young he is and the bases loaded and the close game, but the hitting streak on top of it. A lot of young players come up and swing for the fences in that scenario because you want to continue the hitting streak and you want to get the lead. He didn't care about any of that. And I mean, that needs to be said too, because people are going to remember and say tomorrow, the hitting streak ended. It's so upsetting the hitting streak ended. There's a lot more to that than that. And that's one of the reasons right there.
Yep. Quickly, Clarke Schmidt. That was some news when that came out. When I saw that tweet, I was like, what happened? So he has a lat strain, no throwing for 4 to 6 weeks. So it's similar to Oswald Peraza, where he didn't do anything for about a month. So no throwing for 4 to 6 weeks. Then he has to build back up for at least another 4. And then he can rehab.
Months.
So he's out
for 2 months.
At least until August at this point. And there's no guarantee he'll be 100% when he comes back. But on the flip side, if Garrett Cole feels good when he wakes up on Friday morning, and if you're watching this on Friday morning, the rehab assignment could be as soon as Tuesday. Scranton, Somerset, and Tampa are all home. So it could be either or any of those places that he could be.
If he's at Somerset, I'm going to the game. I'll tell you that. I'm not missing that game.
I don't blame you.
It's weird though. Like we did say, these things always have a way of working themselves out. And, it's unfortunate for Clarke Schmidt. I didn't want to see a guy get hurt, but it's the truth. These things just always find a way of someone gets injured at the wrong time and everything. And that's what happened here. You wish Clarke a speedy recovery, but this, doesn't come to much of a surprise, and it opens up a slot for Garrett Cole. And they don't lose a guy off the roster, which is what we're concerned about.
Right. Yeah, I'm bummed because Clarke Schmidt was having such a good year.
Oh, yeah.
And, the Yankees were doing so well with the injuries. Like there were injuries, but they weren't catastrophic. Other guys recovering for them. And it actually feels more like 2019 in a way, instead of the way it was last season where
this is what depth is for.
Right.
Like this is why you have to build good depth in the offseason. If guys start getting hurt, this is when we'll see if Cashman really did a good job last offseason.
Right. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notification so you know when our videos go up. And if you want to be part of the next Fanmail Friday, reply to the pinned comment on our videos Monday through Thursday, or you can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. I sent the Yankees PR tweet right away about Clarke Schmidt to the insiders. The link is in the description, and it isn't only for Fanmail Friday. Like I said, I send out the injury reports, I send out lineups and other things, and you can text us questions or comments if you're flipping out during a game. Feel free to text us. It's fine. Coming up, speaking of Fanmail Friday, we're doing Fanmail Friday live. It's going to be interesting.
It's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL, and FanDuel is giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, everybody, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. I hope you guys were betting on the Dallas Mavericks to win the Western Conference, because if you did, you cashed. And how about we roll that money back over? Dallas Mavericks plus 180 to beat the Boston Celtics. I think the Boston has played absolutely nobody in the NBA playoffs, and they've walked right their way too, and Dallas has been challenged. So I like Dallas to beat Boston in the NBA Finals. $150, guys. $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and more. All you got to do is win a $5 bet. How could you not do this? Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Welcome back to Locked On Yankees. Make sure you watch Locked On Sports Today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest sports stories of the day. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, and you can catch the hometown Yankees broadcast on SiriusXM. Download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. I'm not Stacey Gotsoulias.
No, hold on. Hold on 1 second. There we go.
And just to pull you guys behind the camera, the read was screwed up because I usually read the second read of the show. That always winds up being the gambling read. So I was screwed up with the second read. I apologize, but it's a live show. This is what you get. This is the exclusivity that you get about the live show.
Damn it. Anyway, you can't be perfect.
We're not judged on perfection.
Plus, it's us controlling everything. It's not like we have a producer off to the side who's operating everything. Like, we're doing everything on our own here. So, if I had a second computer, it might be better, but we'll see. So, okay, it's Fan Mail Friday, and we have just a few questions, but in segment 3, we'll answer your questions from the chat. So that'll be fun. So first up, as usual, Betty, our insider. Gil, did I really just say that? This is how tired I am. West Coast games are horrible. Heel and Trevino appear to have a special connection. Do you think Jose should be his catcher exclusively, or is Heel so special he would be great with any catcher?
I think exclusive catchers mean a lot right now. You got to remember, too, Austin Wells, while he's called really good games this year and his statistics, advanced analytics for a catcher are really good, you still got to slow down. He's a brand new catcher in the league. It's his first real full year in the league. Trevino's a veteran. He's won a platinum glove. He's known as one of the better catchers in all of baseball. That could have a lot to do with Heel. And we've also mentioned a lot. Heel has learned a lot from Garrett Cole this year. He's been behind Garrett Cole a lot. Garrett Cole has explained a lot of things to him. Garrett Cole's personal catcher is Trevino. So it means a lot to have a guy that he trusts behind the plate right there. And while he's pitched so well this year, I think it's important that Trevino stays with him.
Yep, I agree with that.
Let's go to Ruben. For Fanmail Friday, I hate that this season and on recent ones that the Yankees don't play the Red Sox until June. They should play at least one series earlier. What do you think?
I mean, I like that they're not playing the Red Sox. I'd prefer if they didn't play them at all. I've had enough Yankees Red Sox to last me a lifetime over the last 25 years. But I get it.
I gotta be honest, Ruben. It doesn't. The schedule itself doesn't bother me as much anymore. It's become so turned around. You don't even know who they're playing on certain weeks anymore because the schedule's all wonky. It doesn't bother me as much. they don't play the Red Sox as much as they used to anyway. It used to be 19 times per year. Now it's 13. So you don't even play them as much anyway. It doesn't bother me. I can see how it would bother you, but it really doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. They are playing them in a couple of weeks. So
yeah,
we will be seeing them.
I'm sure a lot of runs will be scored in that series.
Yeah, I know both pitching staffs are really good.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Rolome the second, 3176 from YouTube. With 2 months in the books, June is almost here. We're only a day away. Thinking of the All-Star game, what are your thoughts on who's going? Who would you like, or would you like any of the Yankees to go? I like the recognition, but I like the rest for the team. So he likes when the team rests. He would prefer them not to go to the All-Star break. What do you think about that?
I don't think the rest matters to them that much. It's one game. They play about 4 innings each. No one plays the whole game. It's one game. They still do get more rest than most players do because you got to think about it. They finish on the Sunday, then they're off. They finish on the Thursday prior. They're off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then Monday is the Derby. Tuesday is the All-Star game, and they don't come back until Friday. So they get a week off anyway. And if they play in the All-Star game, it's one game. So it's really not that big of a deal. I'll actually be at the All-Star game. Sneak preview. I'll be doing shows down from Dallas. So that'll be a lot of fun. Who should be there? Heel, Holmes, Judge, Soto, Stanton, possibly Volpe. Yeah, Volpe. I mean, that's 6 guys right there. Yeah, and I think that's the minimum.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Bear 23462 says last week the White Sox were involved on an infield fly rule call versus the Orioles, and last night the Yankees got hosed on another infield fly rule call. What amendment do you think should be done to change the rule?
I don't know. I really don't, because I think the White Sox play was different, and the umps came out and said that they were wrong to make that call.
Mm-hmm.
The umps didn't come out. Did they say anything about the Soto play?
No, they don't have to. It's not like the NBA where they have to give an after game report. And I don't think it's that big of it's such a rare thing that I don't think MLB is out there rushing to fix this.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that anything's going to be done about it because it is rare, but it is kind of funny that there've been a few wonky calls, either with interference. Well, they've all been interference, either on the bases or with pop-ups and people running and hitting into the fielder. So it's just odd that this seems to be suddenly happening.
But again, it doesn't affect enough games, doesn't affect enough teams for this to be a thing that's gonna, cause a big change.
Right. Our final submitted question comes from FJE6902 from YouTube. Is there a scenario in which the Yankees don't take Heel out of the rotation upon Cole's return? I think the logic is still they're going to protect his arm regardless of how well he's pitching.
I don't agree with you. I think this is a very old school mindset, and I do think they want to protect his arm. Don't get me wrong. But I think when a guy is pitching this well, his ERA is under 2. He had 45 strikeouts in the month of May. You can't toy with stuff like that. So what if Luis Heel is becoming an actual superstar? Like what if we're watching him become one of the better pitchers in all of baseball? Do they have to sit him? Also, a lot of pitchers come off Tommy John stronger than they were prior to the Tommy John. So they're protecting him. They're not going to let him throw 120 pitches in a start. They're not going to throw him on short rest. That won't happen. He's been literally that good. You cannot take him out of the rotation. You can't. He's been that good.
Yeah, he's really been amazing. And now that, actually, Clarke Schmidt's injury kind of answers that question because there's no way they're going to take him out now. But
even if Clarke Schmidt was healthy, I don't think there's any way that you can touch what he's been doing. You can't.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying, there isn't even there shouldn't be any kind of question for the Yankees at this point. I mean, there shouldn't have been anyway, but I think that with the injury, that's definitely yeah. All right, coming up next, answering more of your questions live. So put them in the chat and we will look over and answer them. You know that instant confidence boost that you get when an outfit makes you look really good? That's what I get with Stitch Fix. I give my stylist, you get a stylist, it's really cool. You give them your size, your style, and your budget preferences. And you order boxes when you want, how you want them. There's no subscription required. They send you 5 pieces and they give you a card with outfit recommendations and styling advice. And you keep what works and you send back the rest. One time I needed an outfit for a wedding. I don't like wearing dresses. I don't like going shopping. I hate it so much. And I get annoyed because when I go shopping, I usually can't find anything. My stylist sent me an entire outfit from head to toe that I wore to this wedding and got compliments left and right all night. It was great. It's style that makes you feel as good as you look. So get started with Stitch Fix. You go to stitchfix.com/MLB. You get $20 off your first fix. That's what your first box is called. Again, stitchfix.com/MLB for $20 off. You need to redeem this within 7 days of signing up, but it's totally worth it. Again, stitchfix.com/MLB. Hey, we're in the right positions. Awesome. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV Channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today, now available on the free Fire TV Channels app. Ooh, there's a lot of things here. Okay. We have a couple of questions starred, so I'm going to read them off and show them to you on the screen because we can do that. Okay. Jeriel Young, what do you think will be done at the trade deadline? Who should we go after?
I think it's going to be bullpen arms. I don't think there's guys in the field. I know a lot of people are out there thinking that Nolan Arenado is available. He's not. There's no indication that he is. I don't think you need to replace Rizzo. He hasn't been great, but I don't think he's justified benching. So I wouldn't touch Rizzo. I think it's just going to be little duct tape moves, like to just keep things together. I don't think you're going to see any big splashes.
Right. I mean, as long as they stay playing the way they're playing right now and nothing else catastrophic happens.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be big moves made. Hopefully not. I just hope that nothing else happens. Let's put that out into the universe. We'll manifest nothing bad.
I also don't know if there's a lot of big name players that are going to be available anyway this trade deadline. Doesn't feel like there's anyone that's really out there in Major League Baseball that's going to be moved anyway. Right.
Yeah. It might be one of those quiet trade deadlines, and it might be one of those moves where you're thinking to yourself, is this really the move they should make? And then the guy turns out to be one of those guys where you're like, oh, okay, I won't doubt Cashman again, because that sometimes happens. Next one, secondhand noise. Which are the main pitchers that can be called up for Clarke?
There's no one, and I don't think that there's gonna be one. It's Garrett. Yeah. His name's Garrett Cole.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, in the interim, before Cole can come up, I mean, there are guys down in AAA, but not do it. Like Will Warren probably would have been the call, but he's been atrocious in AAA. His ERA is like an 8 or above an 8. He's just looked really bad. So I don't know what the move would be. Thinking about it, thinking about the guys who are down there right now, I think he would be the logical move, but I don't know. Next one, Vincent M. Durham. Vincent is in the chat every night. When we put the videos up at midnight, he's there every night. He's very dedicated. Thank you, Vincent, for your viewership. We appreciate it. What interleague series are you all looking forward to seeing? I'm looking forward to this weekend against the Giants, especially them playing in San Francisco. I'm not looking forward to Saturday's game being 10 o'clock, but I'm looking forward to the rest of the weekend.
Maybe the most beautiful stadium in sports, right? is the Giants' home stadium. Beautiful, right on the water right there. The one I'm looking forward to is the Dodgers playing at Yankee Stadium in 2 weeks. That's a really, really cool, fun series. I feel like when's the last time the Dodgers played in New York? You really don't see it too often.
2013.
Yeah, it's not often.
I can tell you exactly when. It was the day that Jim Gandolfini died because I was at Yankee Stadium. It was a doubleheader. There was a rain out the night before. My friend couldn't go the day, so she gave me that ticket, and I had already had a ticket to the second game. So I ended up staying there for it was a split doubleheader, so it wasn't like you could stay in the, But yeah, no, it was, I remember exactly where I was standing when I looked at Twitter and saw the news about Jim Gandolfini passing away. So if you look up when he passed away, that's when the Dodgers were in Yankee Stadium. I remember walking into the stadium for the first game. I was slightly late because my train was running late, and I had missed Yasiel Puig hitting a double. He was literally sliding into second base as I was walking in. Yeah.
June 19th, 2013.
Yep.
I mean, that is just great memory on your part. I wonder if they're going to be playing Yamamoto. I haven't even looked at the the proposed. Yep, actually, game one of that series on the Friday night. Yeah, Yamamoto is scheduled to go in the Bronx. Very, very interesting. I wonder if there's a little bit extra motivation for the Yankees in that game.
Yeah, it's also very odd that the Dodgers played at Citi Field this week, and then they're playing the Yankees.
Well, I don't think they're going home then, right? The Dodgers, they're probably not going back to LA, right? Nope, they are. Who would have thought?
Yeah, no, it is. It's weird because I have Dodger fan friends on Twitter who were like, what the hell kind of schedule is this?
Very stupid, because if you see, they played Cincinnati, then they played the Mets, so it's going naturally more eastward. But then they go back home this weekend to play the Rockies.
Yeah.
And then they go back to Pittsburgh to play the Pirates for 3 games, and then they go to the Bronx. Very, very strange. So they're making them go back home to LA to play 3 games and then go back to Pittsburgh. Crazy level of traveling for no reason.
Yeah, I don't understand the schedule. I'm putting this question in because I find it amusing. From Jared Williams, how are you doing, Stacey? I'm doing great. I'm glad that this is the last late game we have to cover during this road trip because
for a while, right?
It's brutal.
It brutal. Is. Yeah, I full disclosure, we're doing this live right now at 12:57 in the morning. I got to be up in like 4 hours. So it's not not preferable when they play games this late, but hey, this is what we do, right?
Look, how old are you again?
I'm going to be 27 next month.
That's just a little bit older than half my age, okay? And when I was your age, I was staying out until like 4 a.m. and going straight to work because I was crazy. So you're young enough to do this. You're young enough to do this. Just wait. Once you turn 30, it's going to be like falling off a cliff.
Props to you. The Yankees, though, don't have a West Coast road trip until September. So we don't got to deal with this for a while.
Interesting.
September 17th.
Okay, because they're usually out west for my birthday, which is the end of August. They've played the A's like a few times the last few years, and it's so annoying when
you can't
they're
even travel
out west
for your birthday to see them play because we have to go to Oakland.
No, I wouldn't want to do that.
They go to in September. They go to Seattle for 3, Oakland for 3, and then back home. So they really only have 2 more West Coast games. Two more West Coast series.
No more questions, guys. We have time for one more question if someone has a question. And you can ask anything you want.
Michael Trezza said, 2009 is a long time. What is this weird relationship between Hal and Cashman? As much as Boone has been the long-hanging fruit to fire, what is it with Hal and Cashman? I think it's fairly obvious, right? Like Cashman had a great relationship with Hal's father, and Hal's father brought him up through the reins, got him hired, gave him the job. There's a connection there, and there's a trust factor too, right? Like Cashman is trusted by the Steinbrenner family, and there's a lot to be said about that. Plus, it's been said around all of Major League Baseball, and it's true. Cashman hasn't exactly had a losing season in a very long time.
Right.
And not a lot of guys can say that.
Right. Here's one last one. Secondhand noise. Should we trade Glaber like soon? No.
Short and simple. No.
No. Also, John from Locked On Rangers, New York Rangers. That's him right there. John, man.
We got to talk soon because
yeah, we got to do
night.
like a dual sport crossover because we usually do crossovers with our own. We could
do a therapy session sometime next week. I think it's coming.
Yeah, I think so too. But thank you all for hanging out with us live again for the third night in a row. Let us know if you guys like us doing this. It would be easier after games that aren't West Coast games, so we're not staying up so late. But if you guys like the live format, let us know, and we'll do more of them. One more time before we end the week, don't forget, join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. There's a link in the description below, a 14-day free trial. You get text from us. You can text us questions for Fanmail Friday if you want to participate next week. Go ahead and do that. If you don't want to join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club, you can leave your questions under the pinned comment on our videos Monday through Thursday. And don't forget, you can catch the Yankees hometown broadcast on SiriusXM by downloading the SXM app and searching the word Yankees. Coming up next week, recapping that series against the Giants. The Yanks will be returning home to play the Twins and the Dodgers, as we mentioned. So we'll be previewing those series and we'll be updating you on what's happening down on the farm for Miners Monday. So that's going to do it for this live edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a good weekend, everyone.